Hi everybody, my name is Jack Burt. I'm the trumpet professor at the University of Maine. I'm a Schagerl Artist, and I'm here in Monk, Austria at the Schagerl factory in the, what I like to call the trumpet room. There are some trombones over there, but we don't need to talk about that. And I'm very excited to sit here with Selina Ott, one of my absolute favorite trumpet players, a person who has had just amazing success in the last 4 years, someone I've known for a long time actually, for 10 years, since she was younger than she is now, when we played together in an ensemble at the 2011 Schagerl Festival. And little did I know what a star she would become. In that time, she has won the 2018 ARD trumpet competition. She has produced 2 solo CDs for Orfeo, and one of which just won what?
Opus Classic.
Opus Classic for best?
Konzerteinspielung.
For best concert performance.
Yeah.
And that's a big deal. That's wonderful. And which recording was that?
The first CD, my debut CD, together with the Radio Symphony Orchestra, Vienna, with Roberto Paternostro as the conductor. And we recorded Arutunian, and from Desenclos, Incantation, Train et Danse, and the Piston Trumpet Concerto No. 1.
Wonderful. I have that CD. And you just came out with the second one last year, which is a recital album. It also had the Desenclos on it in the piano version. And what else was on it?
We recorded the Sutermeister, Gavotte de Concert. We recorded Reinhold Glier's Concerto, which is actually for mezzo-sopran, but there's an arrangement from Dokschitzer, which is a very, very beautiful piece.
Yes.
We recorded from Sergei Vasilenko, the concert poem. And the last piece was... It's such a long time we recorded it already. We recorded it actually before the
pandemic
orchestra, but the release date was switched because...
So you recorded it well before the concerto album.
Yes, half a year before the concerto.
And you have a special accompanist.
Yes, I played it and recorded it with Lin. He was my accompanist at the ARD competition as well. I got to know him from my university. He studied at the same university, and I searched someone for the competition who I could practice very much with, because I wanted to have this connection and not only have 2 rehearsals and then play a competition. And he was very motivated, and at first he said no to me because he thought it was too much work, but then I somehow convinced him, and I think now he's happy because we play many concerts, and it's good for him as well. Yeah. And yes, after the competition we got many invitations for recitals, and we played many concerts together and still do. We have a lot of projects coming up. So
since you won this competition, how many concerts do you think you've played because of that?
I think in the first year after the competition around 30. Then it was a bit less because of Corona, and now it's starting again. Yeah. But it works really well.
And it's continuing.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. And you told me just beforehand that you're recording or have recorded already a 3rd CD. Yes. Which is great. I mean, nobody's making CDs now. This is awesome. Trumpet, great stuff.
Yeah.
What's on that?
We recorded it's as well with the Radio Symphony Orchestra Vienna, and we recorded Shostakovich Piano Concerto No. 1 together with Maria Raduto, and we recorded the Weinberg Concerto, and the Jolivet Concertino.
Super. Yes. That's one of my favorite pieces.
Yeah, it's all the...
Does your accompanist play the piano on that?
No, unfortunately not.
Yeah.
It was very on short notice, and it was a bit stressful to prepare everything for the recordings, but it went well.
When I was working on my doctorate at Texas, Jolivet was my subject. I wrote a big book about Jolivet and Tomasi, and I got to play the concertino with the strings. And my piano player was so happy not to have to play the reduction that he only had to play the notes that were for piano rather than all the string stuff. And he's like, this is the greatest thing in the world. So it's nice that, because the reduction of the concertino was so hard, but the strings add so much, and it's easier to play, I would think, with the strings.
Yes, I think the Jolivet Concertino is easy to play with orchestra if you played it before with the piano.
Yeah.
Because in a concert, the piano sits behind you and you hear the well-known part. And so it's not so much different. But I think for the piano player, it's very difficult as well because it's just a few notes less.
Yeah.
But some things are changed
It's
which
hard
are
to change
quite
them.
difficult.
Yeah.
So it's not.
And when does the CD come out, you think?
In autumn, we
Wonderful.
don't have a date, but it's coming soon.
Great.
I think.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
So let's talk about your past, your youth a little bit. I don't want to embarrass you, but I show my students, high school students, young students, college students, I show them videos of your playing, even those little ones that you put out, because I think you're an incredible role model for playing trumpet in a healthy way. I'm not showing them literature because they're not going to be able to play some of the stuff you're working on. I show them to say, look at how this woman is playing and she's not working hard. And think about how hard you work to play the trumpet and how difficult it is for you to play simple things, and look how easy it is for her. I'm sure it wasn't always that way. I mean, how did you become, this is a stupid question, how did you become good? How did you become what you were? But certainly you had the same struggles that the rest of us had in finding a way to play. I call it healthy trumpet playing, so you don't beat your face up, you're not breathing too much. You don't have to give me a long answer, but what are some of the steps you took to make trumpet playing feel better and healthier?
Well, I think the answer is easy for me. I started very young, and my father is a trumpet teacher, so I had from the beginning on a very good control.
He's a good trumpet player.
Yes, and my mother is a musician too, and when I was at home and I practiced, I never really made mistakes which I practiced for 2 weeks because I had the control at home. And my mother or my father told me, no, that's not really good, and this is how it's getting easier. So they pushed me in the right direction always. So
they didn't let you go down a wrong path. Yeah.
Never.
Yeah.
And I think the secret for me was I practiced very diligently.
Yes.
In a young age, all the time, and I never stopped, and I always focused on that I have a good sound, and I never ruined my embouchure, so I never played like stupid for 5 hours and tried to play as high as possible and ruin everything. So I always played with my brain. I don't know how to do that.
Smart.
Yes, so I never ruined anything, and I don't know. I had always the best, I don't know how to call it, it's not control, but teachers who supported me and pushed me in the right direction and just laid a way for me to make it as easy for me. And I think it comes naturally for me too, so I never had to struggle with, I don't know, double tongue is not working or something, so I just practiced and it worked. And the more I practiced, the better it got.
Right.
So, I mean, I think I practiced the right things like Clark, and I practiced a lot of Arban, and I really worked hard, of course, but I didn't practice like 5 hours a day. So it was only, when I was younger, it was of course less, and now it's like 2 hours or something.
I got the impression when I first met you and I saw how you worked that you were, diligent is a bad word, but that you were focused and you were very efficient with your time.
Yes, I think so too.
I think that's very important for young students because they waste so much time practicing. My teacher said to me, and this was in college when I was 18 or 19, he's like, Jack, if you play something wrong once, you made a mistake. If you play it wrong twice, you practiced it that way. And then that takes twice as long to fix. And how many times do you play it wrong versus how many times you play it right?
My mother told me that she said when I make mistakes once, I have to play it 5 times right in order to fix it.
It's like erasing something.
Yes,
You have to really get it out of the way. I wish I'd heard that when I was 12 because I kept playing it wrong for so long. Yeah. But as a teacher now, I'm like, well, I did that too, so this is how you fix this. Oh yeah, I understand that. Yeah. So talk about your connection with Schagerl now. You are from Melk, right?
No, I'm from St. Pölten actually.
St. Pölten,
yes.
It's also close.
Yes.
And were you immediately when you started connected to Schagerl, or did that develop later?
Well, I kind of grew up with the company because my father is a trumpet teacher and he always needed something, and he got his trumpets from Schagerl before I was born. And
Before you came into the world.
yes, I wanted to say that. And so when I was a little kid and I needed a trumpet, my father drove with me to Schagerl and we searched for a trumpet. And I always played Schagerl my whole life. And I think the trumpets fit me best because the sound is, I don't know, maybe because I grew up with it. And so
And unlike
all my life.
Unlike most Austrians, would you say you play Piston and Rotary equally, or one more than the other?
I think I play more Rotary because I play. I start every day on the B flat Rotary because in Austria it is
Sure.
like that. I learned it and I started on a cornet, but then I got the Rotary. But the solo repertoire, which is for C trumpet and with orchestra, I play on a Piston because it just works better. And the Rotary C trumpet is a bit, I don't know, unhandy for some things.
Yeah.
But recitals, for example, I play sometimes all Rotary, C and B flat. It's a weird for me.
Yeah.
But B flat is always Rotary for me.
And you're comfortable switching?
Yes, because I did it my whole life, and some people told me, how do you do that? And it's so difficult. And I don't know. I take the trumpet and play. I don't care. It's just a routine, and then it works.
I probably play more Rotary in the United States than anybody else, and I can switch to Piston because it's what I grew up with. And you're used to, it's like changing shoes to me.
That's true. If you never do it, then it's difficult, I think. But it's both our trumpets.
It's daily bread.
Yeah.
And do you also use different sets of mouthpieces for your horns?
Yes, but with the Rotary I play a 15 E4, and with Piston I play a 14 E4.
Both Yamahas?
Yes.
Okay.
It's not so much difference, and I don't know why it works if I switch it to, but it's just, I think I need a different mouthpiece for Piston trumpet, so I take the 14 E4 and...
That's great.
That's fine.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's great, and thank you for talking to me. I want to say one thing is that if you're watching this and you're in America, go look up Selina's name and check out videos because you will learn a lot about playing the trumpet just by watching her play. I think she is one of the finest visual role models you can see about playing the trumpet comfortably. It doesn't have to be hard work. It is work, but you can make it easy. And I'm going to embarrass you by telling you what Gabor said to me. Gabor Tarkovi, the former principal of the Berlin Philharmonic, said to me once, he says, Jack, we're doing this all wrong. She's figured something out. She's getting more with less work than we are. We're working so hard, and she's making this huge sound, and it seems like nothing's going on. So there's some magic you can see when you watch this person play, and I recommend everybody do that. So thank you so much.
So nice.
This has been fun. Thank you.